Welcome to the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden. In the summer of 1900, Giacomo Puccini was here on this very stage, supervising the rehearsals of his latest hit, Tosca. On a rare evening off, he popped over to the Duke of York's Theatre just around the corner, here in the West End of London. He was going to see a play that had taken the world by storm, the tale of a Japanese geisha and the American officer who steals her heart. And the name of that play was Madame Butterfly. Tonight, the Royal Opera presents the work that was inspired by that fateful trip to the theatre in an elegant period production by Moshe Leiser and Patrice Courier. At its heart is the role of Butterfly herself, sung tonight by the astonishing Albanian soprano Ermanella Yaho. And at the helm of it all is the music director of the Royal Opera, Antonio Pappano. You can find out more about the opera right now using the free digital programme on the Royal Opera House website. And don't forget to join in the conversation on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag ROHButterfly. Tell us where you're watching and share your thoughts. Well, tonight we are live to 1,030 cinemas in 29 countries across the globe with subtitles in 9 languages. Wherever you're watching, we are truly thrilled to be able to bring you another world-class performance live from the Royal Opera House. We'll be discovering more about the opera shortly, but in the meantime, let's have a look at the rest of the live cinema season from Covent Garden. Well, tonight we transport you from the red and gold interior of the Royal Opera House in London to Nagasaki, Japan at the turn of the 20th century. It was a time when the East opened its doors to visitors from the West, and tonight's opera is a tale of commerce and culture clash, of trade and tragedy, Puccini's Madama Butterfly. He'd found the story on the London stage, but it was based on a real person, Cho San, a young woman discovered by an American missionary, resulting in a book by John Luther Long and then the stage play by David Belasco. And this heroine is really at the centre of the opera, a girl who falls in love with the handsome Benjamin Franklin Pinkerton, an American officer who's bought her hand in marriage, bundled into a house purchase. For him, a mere capital investment, but for her, a chance to change her life forever. Taking the role of Madama Butterfly tonight is Erminella Yahu, whose devastatingly intense performance in Puccini's Suor Angelica recently wowed audiences and critics alike here at Covent Garden. She'll be bringing some of that passion and vulnerability to her Cho-Cho-San opposite Marcello Puente's Pinkerton. Suzuki, Butterfly's maid, is performed by the American mezzo Elizabeth de Shong, with Scott Hendricks as the American consul Sharpless and Carlo Bosi as the marriage broker Goro. The production was created in 2003 by the creative partnership of directors Moshe Leiser and Patrice Corrier, and it's been a real favourite here at Covent Garden. This is its 5th revival. We'll be hearing from both of them shortly. But now I am delighted to say that joining me here backstage at the Royal Opera House is the brand new director of the Royal Opera, Oliver Mears. Ollie, welcome.
Hi.
Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And first of all, huge congratulations on what must be pretty much the best gig in the world.
I'm very excited, yeah.
What was it that drew you to opera?
Well, I think it's that combination of all the different art forms, isn't it? The way in which it combines theatre and music and the visual arts into really an unforgettable spectacle. And I think that, of course, anyone who loves opera has first of all been introduced to the music. And, of course, it's the music which really hooks you in and gets you hook, line and sinker. And I think that having experienced in theatre the wonderful complexity and richness of these pieces, it's wonderful now to be able to have an impact on how they're staged.
And Madame Butterfly is, of course, right at the heart of the operatic canon. What do you think is behind its enduring appeal?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Of course, first of all, it's this amazing story of two young people, one of whom falls in love and the other one, well, we're not quite so sure about that. And yet the sheer passion of this woman for this other man and the way in which she falls for him and then, of course, is jilted by him is so powerful and so moving and so heartbreaking that I think it speaks to us across the centuries. And I also think that at the other end of the spectrum, I think that the story is so compelling and so wonderful and so simple. And that's why I think it's so moving.
You talk about opera having it all. This production has certainly got it all. The most fantastic cast, and particularly that central character, Butterfly, but of course Tony Pappano, wonderful directors. I mean, it must be a joy to see a production like this on the stage of the Royal Opera House.
It really is, and it's what it's all about. It's having that combination of fine music making in the pit, having a fantastically charismatic and passionate conductor leading them on. It's about having an outstanding stage performers, like you say, Erminella Yahu and Marcello Puente. And it's also, I think, also about the amazing stage pictures that we're going to see tonight, because it really is one of the most beautiful productions that we have in our repertoire.
Well, tell us a little bit about what we can expect, because the directors have really pared things down. It's a very essential production, by which I mean it really gets to the heart of it, to the essence of that story.
Yes, it does. It's a very simple production. It's very pure. It's very clean. It's very Japanese in that sense, in terms of the design. It's a period production, so it's set at the time when the opera was written. And I think, above all, it's incredibly truthful to the original story, and I don't think it takes any liberties at all, and I think it finds huge amounts of inner meaning in the original opera.
If anyone can bring out that inner meaning, it is, of course, Antonio Pappano. I genuinely can't think of a better, a finer Puccini interpreter. What a busy man he is. He's doing Meistersinger as well. He's got other productions coming up. It's an extraordinary privilege to have a musical genius, an intellect like that in this building, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how he does it, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's, like you say, I think it's the combination of intellect and energy and a complete dedication and love for his work, which really communicates to the audience as well when he conducts the orchestra. And I think that's what's so exciting about his particular style that he brings to the Royal Opera House.
You must be hugely looking forward to working very closely with him in the upcoming season.
Very much.
I'd love for you to give us a few hints of what's to come. I know you probably can't because the season is under wraps, but before next season there is, of course, one more cinema relay, and that's Otello, late great Verdi masterpiece, also conducted by Pappano. What can we look forward to?
Well, I think we can look forward to another outstanding cast. I mean, Jonas Kaufmann is returning to the Royal Opera House in a role which he's very excited to be playing.
Making his role debut.
Making his role debut, in fact. I think we can look forward to an outstanding rest of the cast as well. And I think that we can look forward to a production which is directed by Keith Warner, which will be as insightful as you would expect from a director who's one of the leading practitioners in their field. So I think it's going to be quite an event.
I'm just about to let you go, Oliver, but just before you do, tell us what's the most special thing so far about working at the Royal Opera House?
I think it's the people, Clemmie. I think it's the amazing variety of talent that there is here, and the passion and the enthusiasm and the real love that they have for this art form and for this building and for its history.
Well, we're very much looking forward to seeing what you come up with next season. Thank you so much for being here with us, and I hope you've got your hanky at the ready, because tonight is going to be a heartbreaker. During rehearsals, we met up with Erminella Yaho and Marcello Puente, along with Antonio Pappano and the stage directors, to find out a bit more about Puccini's most poignant masterpiece.
It's a life journey. We have love, sacrifices, death.
The core of the story is the conflict of culture.
It is, of course, a love story. It is, of course, a story of betrayal. Most of all, it is a tragedy.
It's about her. She's irresistible. She's irresistible. Puccini was a man that was very quick to reinvent himself with each project, and he was restless. Now, the opportunity to use tunes from Japanese music boxes to create local color everywhere was a musical challenge, and he was up for that. But the way he's combined that and has managed to keep intact his Italianità, his Italianness, is just a miracle.
Cho-Cho-san, Madame Butterfly, this young girl, 15 years old, Japanese geisha. She's in love with Pinkerton, and at the same time she wants to change her life completely.
The problem is that she believes in this union, and he's not. For him, it's just a game.
She's attracted because he's different.
It's his first time that he's been in another country.
Pinkerton is not a tourist, he's a soldier. He's there because of the army, but at the same time, I mean, his experience with that young girl is part of that incredible irresponsibility of people going to other countries and abusing local cultures.
In the first act, he just wants to have her.
Her hopes to have a better life with Pinkerton are very high. And for that, she is ready to betray her family, betray her tribe, and betray her religion. She gives it all for Pinkerton.
I think the character of Madame Butterfly is just unique. And I'm drawn to this opera if I have the right girl singing the part, of course.
And that one too, the very quick attack. Yeah, it's like, it's got to shake us out of our, okay.
The reason I'm conducting this revival of Butterfly is because of Erminella Yaho. She has a heart that she's able to serve on a platter to the audience.
Working with Maestro Pappano is an amazing opportunity because he knows the singers very well. You know, it's like seeing in the mirror your soul singing together.
You can achieve the young 15-year-old sound with her voice. We see the maturing of this young girl, not only the physical maturity, but the vocal maturity, and she has these incredible outbursts very dramatic against a big orchestra. So to find the singer who can do both, it's not so easy.
We always say that opera is a teamwork.
And we are a family here, family with all the colleagues, with all the team of Madame Butterfly, to make it more believable. Because if we believe on stage, the public will too.
The idea of a butterfly, the idea that it's a frail thing and that you pin it to put it on the wall, that metaphor is really a metaphor that we see through the opera.
She's being thrown into a world that will just tear her up and spit her out, and she fights, and she fights.
She follows what she wants to the end.
The torture that this girl goes through, and Puccini loves to torture his heroines, makes us very uncomfortable. Why a creature like her has to suffer so much. And yet, that's what makes this opera so great and so enormous.